In this video, we are going to talk about multi-threading in Java. It's a very important topics, okay? And if you know about this topic, then easily you can crack the interview, okay? So many interviewers will ask you the questions related to the multi-threadings and thread classes, each and everything. So this video, I'm going through the as a beginners and understand what is exactly multi-threading and what we can do with the help of this multi-threading, okay? So let's start now. So if I talk about the multi-threading in Java programming, so every thread having a sum of the our own state, okay? So I'm not going to discuss about the state. First we need to understand what is thread in Java, because before going to the multi-threading we have to understand what exactly thread. So thread means something called a dhaga, we are saying in the Hindi, but the thread exact meaning is in our Java programming. You can see here in Java, thread is a lightweight. Lightweight means very less weight unit of the execution that runs concurrently. Concurrently means at the same times, okay? So in the same times, if the multiple threads are trying to execute, that is called a multi-threading we are saying, but concurrently at a time with the other threads within the same programs, within the other threads in the same program. So for example, we have created 2 or 3 threads and we have started at the same time. That is called concurrently thread will execute it at the same programs, okay? That is called a thread. In other words, you can say a thread is represent a sequence of the instructions that can be executed independently. Executed independently means so we have a multiple task. For example, if I talk about means multiple task, this is one computer I have. In this computer, what I'm doing is I'm recording the video also, I'm using the camera also, I'm using the microphone also, I'm using the screen recorders with the software, and I'm using the editor also, I'm using the slide also. So many things I'm using at the same time. So it means executing a multiple task which is independently, okay? So while using the camera, I don't want to disturb my microphone, okay? So it means I'm using the camera also and I'm using the microphone also at the same time. So that is called same time task executions, we can say, or independently also, okay? So in Java, threads are implemented using the java.lang package, okay, implemented in java.lang. Thread class which provides a number of the threads for creating and starting is thread class which provides a number of the methods creating, starting, stopping and synchronizing a threads. All those things you can do with the help of the thread only. To create a threads, you can either extend the thread class or override its run methods, or implement the runnable interface and pass an instance of your class to the thread object. So that is very important points, you have to remember it. We can in Java we can create thread in the 2 way. One is using the thread class, okay? So let's go and understand what is the thread class, how it's look like, what are the methods are available in the thread class, okay? So for that we have to go to the in our Eclipse, and in Eclipse I'm going to create one more package called multi-threading. Okay, so this is the Java project I have created and I will give the name called multi-threading. Multi-threading. Okay, and inside the multi-threading I will create one classes or package also I will create. Let me delete this, that is not required. Okay, here I will click and control N I will click, through that I can search here class, and then after easily I can give their class name. So what is the class name? I will give the class name called thread test. Thread test. Okay, so this is the class, one class is created. I can give the package also. So package name I can define here also. So package com.thread, and I can give the semicolons. I can just mouse over on that and we can move the package. Okay, so your one package will be created. Let me format it. Okay, now I want to see the thread class. Is it thread class is available in Java? Yes, this is the predefined classes, so definitely it's available. So you can press Ctrl Shift R, so through that you can see your own class, but you have to press Ctrl Shift T. Then one pop-up will open once you enter the Ctrl Shift T at the same time, and you can search here thread class. Okay, thread class which is available in java.lang package and in the JRE. So you can click on that thread class. Okay, it's open. So public class thread implements the runnable. So we have a runnable interface also. Through that also we can create a thread. So let me check first Runnable interface, okay, because it's a parent class of the thread class. So control and mouse over on it, you can click on open declarations. So if you see here, we have this package also available in the java.lang package. If you go down, you can see, okay, this is the functional interface. So we can discuss about the functional interface in Java 1.8 features, but right now we can go with the public interface Runnables. Okay, so this is the one of the interface which is Runnables is available in through that also we can create a thread class and thread object, and in this interface only one method is available, which is abstract method run. Okay, so I hope you understood. We have a runnable interface, and inside the runnable interface we have a run methods, and which is abstract method. So we have to provide a body whenever you try to implement this method in your class. So whenever you try to implement this class in your class, that time you have to give the body of this methods. So as of you know the what is the inheritance, how it will work, so those things you can see here. Okay, if you go to thread class, so thread is implemented the runnable. So thread have a responsibility to provide the implementation for the run methods. Okay, so let's check they are providing an implementation for run method or not. So you can press Ctrl O, and here you can see is there any run method is available or not. So I think run method is not available. Okay, so you have to provide the body for that. Okay, I think. Okay, let me go down. Okay, sleep method is there. Where is the run method? Run thread. Yes, run method is there. Open this run method. Yeah, it's provided and it's overridden also, and given the body also. Public provide run methods. Okay, so it's optional for you to override if you go with the thread class. Okay, if it is required, you can override it and you can provide the body. Okay, that is fine. So many methods are available in this thread class also. You can go and check out each and every methods. It's a very important methods. Just I will show you. This is the sleep, yield, current thread, on spin weight, clone thread. There is some what we call constructor having a thread also. So those are the constructors are available for the thread class. Okay, you can use those constructor to create your thread object. Okay, we have a start method inside the thread class. We have a run method. We have a exit method. We have a interrupt method, interrupted method, is interrupted, is alive. Those are the important method we can use while running a thread. We can run also thread set priority, get name of the thread, set name of the thread, get thread group, active count, join with the long join. Okay, is daemon thread, is check access. So those are very important methods, and we have to at least aware about it. Once you aware about it, you can do the coding based on that. Okay, this is the get default uncount exception handler. So you don't want to go as a beginners levels or as a core Java concept. You don't want to go into the depth. You just have to aware about how we can create a thread and how we can perform some operations on the thread, how we can create a multiple threads, how we can execute it. If you know those things, that is enough. In the high level, if you go to the real-time project, that time we are using some other library. We are not using the core Java thread classes. Okay, so that time we are using some other third-party library that is very helpful for us, and easily we can maintain each and everything while using those particular third-party packages. Okay, but you have to understand our basic also, then only you can do those things. Okay, so I hope you see all those classes. Here is the thread class, here is the runnable interface, and runnable interface having a run methods. I hope you remember it. So always you have to remember runnable is a interface and having a run methods, which is abstract methods. Thread class having so many methods, so whatever the methods you are able to remember it. Otherwise you can see in the coding section also. So this is the thread class, which is my thread test I have created. But this is not a thread right now. If you want to make this class as a thread, you have to do two things. One is you have to extend with the thread behavior. Okay, once you implement this thread behavior, then this class will treat it as a thread, because whatever the thread having a property. So if parent having some property which is look like a thread, it's extended by the child class. So child also become like a thread, and he will behave like a thread also. Okay, otherwise if you don't want to go with the thread class, you can go with the implement runnable interface. Okay, so while implementing a runnable interface also, you can say runnable interface, you can say now the thread test having a behavior of thread. So you have to provide the body for that if you go with the runnable interface. Okay guys, so this is the two way to create a thread. One is extending the thread class, other one is implementing the runnable interface and provide the body for the run methods. That is very important. So please remember it. In the so many interview questions they will ask you, and I don't think you are going to be confused. So please remember it. Okay. Okay, nice. So we have discussed as of now what is the thread class, what is runnable interface, what are the methods available, how we can create a thread, those things. Okay, let's go. So here if you see, like, we have created public class my runnable implements a runnable interface. We have given the code for the public. Now we have created a new thread and start it. So you can create a thread class here and you can pass your my runnable object, and suddenly you can start your thread, so it will execute it. So let me show you once. So for example, this is the run method. In the run methods I will write something like thread is started. Okay, thread is started, started, started. Okay, so we have provided the body for the run methods. Now we have to write a main methods, and inside the main method we can create an object of our thread test. Okay, so thread test, we have our own class equal to new thread test. So this is nothing but thread test is one of the thread class only, because this thread test having a property of the runnable. So runnable is thread, and it's giving the property to create a thread. So same thing, it will behave like that only because of this is the child of runnable interface. And now we can create a thread class. So we have a thread. So thread is a class, so we can create an object of thread. Okay, thread equal to new thread. Okay, and simply we can pass the runnable. So this is the constructor, we can use it, and we can pass our runnable. So runnable is nothing but thread test. So we have passed the object here. Once you passed, our thread is created, and now we can call the start methods. So if you call the start method indirectly, start method will call the run method. Okay, so let me show you thread dot start. So we have a start method. Once you call this start methods, let me check the start method internally, it's calling the run method or not. So let me open the implementation. So here if you see, this is the start method which is synchronize. So this method is not invoked for the main thread or system group threads created. So these things you can go and just try to explore it. Here this is the handled by the exception, and this is the group dot add boolean started equal to false, started equal to 0, finally thread failed, throwables. Okay, so if you not started, so it will become true. Do nothing. If I start 0 through the throwable, then I will be passed to the callback, call stack. Okay, call stack. So let me open these things, group dot add. Okay, thread start failed, it will pass. Okay, and here it's adding into the group. So let me open this group methods. So here if you go, it will calling the this synchronize, then after throw exception, if you go down, it's copy of these threads. If you go down, you can see minus minus. So this is the logic they retain, but I need to see where he called the what run methods. Okay, so how he calling the run method internally, I need to test it. So this is the threads. Let me open the implementations. Okay, so it's calling like this thread is not invoked for the main method thread or system. This thread created set by the virtual machine. Any functionality added to this method in this future may have to also to the Java virtual machine. So I think this method is, or some other methods we have, I'm not exactly aware about it. Okay, let me open these methods. So this is calling the remove methods. Inside the remove methods we have something. Okay, let it be. So you just remember it's a start method. Start method internally call a run method. Okay, so once you call this method, a start method, internally it will call to the run method. Let me check once. Okay, once I run, if this one is printed, we can say it will call. Okay, so let me run. So we are calling the start method, but we are checking that run method is running or not. So if you see the output, you can see, okay, so this is the run methods and it's running. So we have called what method? A start method here. Okay, so as of now we understood how we can take the help of the runnable and we can create our own methods. Okay, let me create one more class called my thread, okay, my thread, and in that time I'm going to extend the thread class. Okay, previously I have implemented the runnable interface, but now I will going to extend the thread class, and inside the thread class I will create one method called main methods, and I will create the object of the thread p equal to new thread. Okay, and I will just create the object, and here I can call t dot start methods. So once I call the start method, and if I run it, let's see what is the output. You also can guess like what is the output will be printed. So there is no output because in the run method internally it will call the start method. Start method will call the run method. So run method is not having any thing to display it. So you can write your own methods. Okay, which is public void run methods, and here inside this if you write something like thread class is started. Okay, and let me run now. So if you run now, still no, I think this class only. Let me run, nothing will happen. So let me write at the rate override. Okay, let me write override the run methods. Now let me run. There is nothing will happen here. Why? We have extended the property, and each and everything we have done. We have given the run method also, body also. If you see the run class, it's a public strict void run method only. We have override also, and we have taken the help of the thread also. We are calling the run method also. Each and everything is good, but still it's not working properly. So here we have created the thread class. Let me give some name of the thread. Okay, my first thread class. Okay, and it's once it is started, I will do one thing like I will call t dot get name. So through the name I can take it, and I can store those name, and then after I will print those name. Okay, and here what I will do is I will print the name only. Okay, let me run once. So if you see my thread class, so whatever the name I have given for the my thread class, those it's printed, but it's not calling the run methods. If I call here, so if I call t dot run method, it will call. Let me check once. No, that time also it's not running the our same available method which is run. Okay, so this is the something object we have already created. Okay, so in that case we are creating an object of the thread, so it will going and running the thread class run methods, thread class start methods. So if you go and if you see, because we have created the object of thread class, but this class name is my thread, that is the problem. So many people are confused to see like that. So whenever you are doing the work, please open this thread and it will create an object. That is fine, no issue in that. But while calling a run methods, it's not calling your methods, it's calling this thread class method. If you open it, okay, it's calling this run method which is thread class, and if you run this method it will not print anything. So instead of creating a, because you have already property of the thread, you already extended it, so you can create a object with the help of this child class. And if you create the object with the help of the child class, then it will work perfectly. Okay, if you run it now, it will work. If you write here start also, okay, it's working. So first it's printing like thread 0 and thread is started. Okay, so this is the things you have to remember it always. Okay, while doing the work with the thread. So every time you don't want to create a thread classes object only, while you are going with the like runnable, that time definitely you have to create an object of the thread class, and you have to pass the subclasses of the runnable interface. But if you are going with the thread class extending, then you don't want to create object of the thread class. You can create object of the my thread, which is subclass of the thread, and we can do the operation each and everything, no issue in that. Okay, okay, nice. So these are the things we have discussed, like how we can do the work with that. Okay, and I think those you understood. Okay, let me go and let us discuss what is the multi-threading in Java. So actually multi-threading is also very important concept. So basically multi-threading in Java refers to the ability of the programs to have a multiple threads. Okay, so we are creating a multiple threads and execution running concurrently. Concurrently means in the same time within a single process. Single process means one of the system. A thread is a separate path of execution that can run concurrently with other threads also. Okay, a thread is a separate path of execution. Every thread having a separate path of execution. Multi-threading can improve the performance and responsiveness of a program by allowing it to perform a multiple tasks simultaneously. So multiple tasks simultaneously means it's a better example to talk about our operating system. So operating system having a multiple task at the same time. They are playing the music, they are creating a video, they are doing some operations with the keyboard, we are doing some operations with the video calling. So all those things we can do simultaneously. So we can say like our operating system, which is system, is a multitasking. Our mobile is a multitasking. We are listening music, we are talking to someone, we are typing something, we are writing something, we are checking our WhatsApp also while doing a video call, or we are talking with someone. You can do the so many operations at the same time. That is called a multitasking and simultaneously executions. In the Java, multi-threading is implemented using the thread class and runnable interface, which we have already discussed, and I hope you remember it. A thread is created by instantiating a thread object and passing in the runnable object. A thread is created by instantiating a thread object by passing a runnable object that defines the threads we have here. Okay, so please keep this point in your mind so that easily you can create a thread. The thread is then started by calling the start methods. Okay, so thread having a one method called start, and through the start method we can start our thread method on the thread object. The run method of the runnable object is executed in the separate thread of the execution, so it will operate in the execute in the separately. Okay, let's go and check here. So types of the multi-threading in Java. In Java there are two types of the threads, user threads and daemon threads. So what is the user threads and what is the daemon threads? So let's go to our Eclipse, and if you see here, so while executing our applications, this application we have created one class called myThread. So we have created our own thread which is called myThread, and we have started it. Okay, so this is the one thread, and while running these programs we have created one more thread which is main thread. Let me put here debugger and I will show you what I am saying. So if I run this same code with the help of the debugger, you can see the reality, like how they are working. So if you see here in the left side, if you see carefully, so this is the thread, my thread Java application. This is my class name, com.thread.localhost 58073 it's running on. Okay, thread. So thread, and this is the name of the thread. So this is the main thread. You can see here like we have a one thread executing which is main thread. Okay, you can see here, and this is called a main thread executions. Okay, now if I go down, let me go down and let me put here one debugger also. So if I go down, it will start one more thread. So if you see, it's a main thread, it started executions, and then after this is the thread main, and this is the thread 0 will be started the executions. Okay, if you want to provide the name also, you can provide it and you can check it. Okay, so this is the thread number 2 will be started, which is the separately. You can see the icon here, which is the setting icon it will look like. Okay, so this is the main thread and this is the our own created thread. Okay, and now it will execute the remaining code and it will end. So you can see those threads, and this is the thread names. Our thread name is what? Thread 0. So this is the two threads is helping to run this particular code. So while running this particular code, we are using the two threads. So one is user defined threads, which is thread 0, and one is daemon threads, which is main thread we can say, or daemon thread also we can say, which is helping us to execute our code. Okay, so that is the two things you have to remember it and we have to understand, and that is very important things, I hope. Okay guys, okay, let's go to the next. So you understood what is the user thread and what is the daemon threads. So user thread means like we have created thread 0, and daemon thread means which is already created, and automatically those are helping to execute our code. For example, if you run the garbage collectors, so garbage collector like system.gc, if you run, it's like collecting the whatever the unreference object we have, so they are removing those element memory. It's removing from the heap memory area, so that is also running with the help of the daemon thread, or we can say as a garbage threads. Okay, so that's it. These are the multi-threadings. Okay, so internally 2 threads we are using while doing a work with the thread. If you are not using any thread, that time also we are using 1 thread which is able to execute our program, okay, which is main thread. Let's go and see here. So user threads means what? So user threads are created by the application and used to perform the task that part of the application functionality. Okay, so for example, run method we have created, and we have created our my thread, that is user thread. User thread keep the application running until they complete their task or are interrupted. Okay, until. So these are keeping our application as running. Okay, what is daemon thread? So daemon thread are created by the JVM, which is not in control of us, which is automatically created by the JVM, Java Virtual Machine, and run in the background and perform the tasks such as a garbage collections. So just now I have explained you how garbage collections will work, how they are doing works. Those are nothing but those are one of the thread only. Okay, or other maintenance task. Other maintenance task means like whatever the works we have performed. Okay, those tasks also it will do by the other threads. Daemon threads do not prevent the applications. It will not protect the applications from the terminating if all user threads have completed their task. So that will do our own work. It will not focus to do your work. Okay, so this will the separate thread will having a separate work, so they will work on that. Note, in the addition to these 2 type of the threads, there are also some special purpose threads are there used for the specific task. This includes in that also. Okay, so if you see, this is the life cycle of the thread. So for example, we have created 1 thread, that means this code you can see. So through this line we are creating 1 thread. Okay, so thread is created. Okay, thread is created. So this is the new state, and this is the start state of thread, and this is the we are getting. And now if you go here, this is the running state, running state of thread. Okay, let me go to the slide. So this is the new state, then it's going to the runnable state. It means start or running. In between we can say these are the runnable state, and once you perform the start operation, internally it will call the run method. So run method will run our thread, and then after it will go to the exit or stop step, which is termination step. Okay, apart from this, once your thread is started running, okay, that time you can do some operations like it will go to the sleep state also, it will go to the lock state also, it will go to the resume, notify all. So those are the steps we have, so we can go through that also. Okay, I hope you understood. Methods of the thread class. So there are so many methods for the thread class, like get id. So if you want to fetch the id of the particular thread, we can write a get id. Get name, we have already used set name. So let me do something. So here this is the get name. So right now if you run this application, we are getting what? Thread 0. Okay, but I don't want to see this thread 0. I want to set some other name. So I can write t dot set name. Okay, and in the set name I will pass user thread. I will write the user thread, and let me run and show you. So it's printing now user thread. Before it's printing the default thread name, which is thread -0. But I have set the name of the thread, so it's now printing the user thread. If I want to print the ID of thread, so let me write s out and t dot get ID. Okay, and let me show you what is the ID of this thread. Okay, so automatically it's generated the ID of the thread is 14. Okay, the ID of thread is nothing but 14. Let me go and set name we have seen, get name we have seen, get ID we have seen, get priority or set priority. If you do the work with the 2 threads, then we can see. Right now we have seen the start method, run method, is alive, we have not seen. Okay, this is the resume method, suspend method, notify method, wait method. So let me go and just show you what is the sleep method and how it will work. Okay, so those methods we have already discussed. Let me go and show you the sleep method. Okay, so now I'm going to write one for loop over the array. So I don't have any array, so I will take up to 10. Okay, and those value I'm going to print. Okay, which is user z, and here I will print the value which is I, and every execution of this loop I will use one thread dot sleep method. So thread dot sleep method, so sleep is nothing but it's a static method, so we can directly use with the class name, and here you can pass some millisecond. So for example, I have given the 1000 millisecond, it means 1 second. So let me write 1000 millisecond is equivalent to 1 second. 2000 millisecond is 2000 millisecond is nothing but 2 seconds. Okay, so like that it will work, but this one code we have to put inside the try and catch block, then only it will work. So simply what we have done is we have written one try and catch block, and let me copy these things and give here in front of this one, and let me save it. Then what will happen, it will come execute the run method, it will print the thread is started, and then after it will print system user thread which is user thread I which is 0, and then it will take the pause of 1 second, because we have given here millisecond, 1000 millisecond equal to 1 second. So what will happen is it will take the pause of 1 second, and then after it will go and execute another value. Okay, so now you can see the output, it's very nice, it will look like. Okay, let me run once. So once you run, you can see here it's printed something called thread 0 1 2 3 4 5. It's taking some time to print it. Okay, and it's printed. Now if you give something 2 seconds, so it will wait for the 2 seconds. So let me give the 5 second, and you can count it. Okay, so let me give the 5 second, and you can see it will wait for the 5 second. So whenever we are executing some of the tasks like that, which is some taking the time, and we are going to schedule, so we can also understand what is the scheduling, what is the task scheduling, and how it will work also. Okay, and every 1 second, every 5 second it will taking the time to display and iterating the loop. So what we have done is we are written the sleep method to sleep. Hey, once you have started the loop, sleep for the 5 second, and then you can go and again execute the loop. So whenever your loop is printed, this one, it will wait for the 5 second. Okay, and then after it will go here, again it will go and I plus plus, again check will condition, again came here, and it will print it. So this is the work it's happening, and every time it's sleeping the 5 second. I hope you understood. So we have, whenever you want to sleep our method or sleep our thread for some second, we can use the sleep methods. I hope you understood. Okay, so those are the basic things we have discussed regarding the threads. We can discuss more about thread also. Okay, but in the next video, not this video. Okay, thank you so much guys.